September 21st, 2017. I'll go to, there's no closed session, so roll call.
Chairman Gloriana Rhodes,
Here.
Vice Chair Jeremy Coe,
Present.
Director Ty Payton, Director Robert Gleason, and Director John Gish.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Local zone.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any declarations of conflicts of interest? None noted. There are no presentations. We will go into public comments. This is the time for people to speak on items that are not on the agenda or to pull an item from the consent calendar. Are there any public comments? If not, we'll go into consent items. We can hear what those are.
Consent calendar item 8.1, August 17, 2017, regular board meeting minutes. Item 8.2, monthly register of warrants. Item 8.3, receive and file August 2017 incident and training report. Item 8.4, receive and file monthly year-to-date budget report.
Very good. Are there any items to be pulled? If none, then I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion by Coe. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Gish. Please do roll call.
Director Gish,
Yes.
Vice Chair Coe,
Yes.
Chairman Rhodes.
Yes. Motion's passed, so we'll go into schedule items. 9.1, which is approved purchase of new fire engine number 35.
Exciting times. We're going to be a lot of stuff happening in a short period of time as the station gets built. One of the things that we need to look at is a new fire engine for that station. So we've assigned a couple of the personnel that normally are maintenance people that put together the engines to get together a spec for us to go out with. And so I have Battalion Chief Josh Capper. He's going to present that to you tonight.
Very good.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, and Director Gish. Josh Capper, Acting Battalion Chief. I'm here to talk about the new purchase of Engine 35 for River Island Station 35. And as you can turn your attention towards the screen, we're going to go through the presentation. I don't know how to...
Local zone.
There you go.
Yep.
So,
You're at the summary already. Here, let me help you here.
yeah.
Oops.
Oh, where am I at? How come
Oh, there you go.
okay.
All right. Which button is it?
Should be over right. Is it on? So, that's your pointer? Right? Left.
So, I don't know why the summary came first. Does the summary always come first? Sure. All right, so in summary, the fire chief is requesting the fire board to provide direction regarding the purchase of the new fire engine for River Island Station 35. A little bit of the background. With the construction of the new fire station in River Islands underway, it is necessary for the district to purchase a new fire engine to be housed and operated out of Fire Station 35. The new construction timeline for the production and delivery of a fire engine will take approximately 12 months. And therefore, in order for the unit to be put into service in time for the opening of Station 35, staff is recommending that the board approve the purchase at this meeting. Engine 35 has been customized to fit the diverse needs of our fire district with some new innovations that we have not seen before in any of our previous apparatus. Staff has collaborated with line personnel to develop a product that will meet our Type 1 fire engine needs for today as well as into the future. The proposed fire engine will feature a cab very similar to what Truck 30 currently has. It will carry 750 gallons of water, which is our common gallonage, 1,500 gallons per minute pump, a full complement of hose, as well as a diverse range of firefighting equipment. There is a $28,000 discount for payment of the vehicle at the time the contract is signed, as opposed to payment at the time when the vehicle is completed, which they deduct that $28,000, or they add to it. So it's $28,000 more if you pay it at delivery. Staff is recommending that the board authorize the purchase of the New River Islands Fire Engine 35. The cost is going to be somewhere between $635,000 to $666,000, depending on when we decide to purchase and pay for it. And that will be funded from fire facility fees. There is this is kind of an example. This is not our engine, but this is very similar to what we're looking at for what Engine 35 will look like. There's some differences there between what we're used to that we feel are going to be appropriate for our needs. So any questions that I can answer for you?
Yeah, I have a question, but it's for the chief. So do we have the lump sum to pay?
So even when we finance it, it's still considered the discount.
Okay,
So
got
when we
it.
finance it, the lump sum is still paid up front. It's still considered the discount for the $28,000. So it does help us. We just have to finance it through our normal vendor, which is PNC, and then we'd make payments on that. One of the things I did talk about with the developer was, because there's the station and this fire engine all comes out of fire facility fees from that development that it will be serving, what they wanted to do. If they wanted to pay for it up front, like they're doing for the station, and then, but they chose that we would just go ahead and take care of that. That payment will come out first before any payments of the fire station are allocated once we start collecting, well, we are collecting fees from that. But once the station's done, and the developer has paid for that, $5 million, $5.2 million, then at the end of each year, we will calculate how much money we have collected from that development specifically. The first thing that will come out of it is the payments for the engine, because we'll be paying that monthly. And then whatever is left over will be then given back to the developer for fronting up the cost for the fire station. So that's kind of how that development's going to play out. So I did meet with them and go through the cost of the engine, because since it's going to be on credit and we're going to be making payments for it, we do have the money to pay up front, lump sum. There's, I think, if we look towards the fire facility fees, there's 1.4 million. I'd have to look to be exact. And the engine will only cost about $650,000. There will be an added cost of equipment. That's not included in the 650, so that will be extra. But we'll bring that back to you somewhat itemized, or at least lump sum, an equipment package for that.
So who pays for the interest if it's financed?
Fire facility fees.
Okay.
It all comes out of fire facility fees.
But that doesn't reduce, the interest won't reduce any other monies that we would need for other parts of the station or
Right.
equipment or whatever, okay?
No, you're absolutely right. And that was one of the factors the developer looked at. We get like a 3% interest on these things, 2.5, and they said, we'll never be able to get money at that rate.
Got it.
So we get that because of the government agency.
Very good. Questions to my right?
No questions.
Thank you so much.
One of the things I did want to point out is if you see the engine, if he can point to where the pump panel normally is, that pump panel is not, it's called a puck, where the pump is a little bit different configuration, and the pump panel actually exists behind the first right there. So it's not new, they've been doing them for a while, but it's something that we're going to be moving to. The engines 2 and 3 have the pump panels inside and it works real well to keep that stuff maintained and in good working order. So just something for the future. I just want you to look at that one little thing to point out. But other than that, it's going to be a phenomenal engine. Good job, thank you.
Thank you. But Chief, when you do ask for the motion, because you're asking for direction,
Yes.
you also want specified whether we're going to pay early or pay later to benefit from that 28,000?
Yes.
Okay. So with that,
I guess I do have a question.
go ahead.
Why would we not?
It's your choice. So people can, yeah, I agree. Why would we not take advantage of it, especially when we could either pay it outright or we can finance it? But it is an expenditure of, so we have to pay for it before it gets built instead of pay for it after it's built. So,
So you're paying a year's worth of interest more than if you were to wait
well, no, we
till
won't,
delivery.
we won't pay interest, but they take our money. So what they do is they take the money and they invest it in their own, because you've paid for it. So they get their money early and they invest some of that money, and what they get on the return is what we get on the discount. That's what Golden State does. So not Pierce, but Golden State is where we buy it. It's like a car lot in a sense. So.
Okay.
So we don't have to. So it's the board's choice, and I don't want to make that decision for you. I go by your direction.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, is there any other questions? I'll entertain a motion. Okay, I will make a motion that we approve the purchase of the new fire engine number 35 with the payment early to save the $28,000.
Perfect.
I'll second that.
So let's do roll call.
Director Gish,
Yes.
Vice Chair Coe,
Yes.
Chair Rhodes.
Yes. At this time, we will go to approve and ratify letter to grand jury response.
So you all were given an opportunity to review the letter that we sent to the grand jury in response, and the board to give me direction to send that. When we addressed the attorney said that we could just send the letter off. However, the grand jury likes the board to actually, in an open forum, adopt or approve and ratify the sending of that letter to them. So we spoke with them. We're not going to be late by any means by the response. We just need to put that in the minutes and have that taken care of.
Okay, and for the record, I want to identify that the board as a whole, because we were all present at the time, did discuss this, did actually have input into it. We worked right along with the fire chief to get this letter sent out. So I just want to put it on the record so that the grand jury understands that this letter, while we didn't make an official vote in public, was discussed, we contributed to it, and so forth. So with that, I do need to entertain a motion that we approve it or disapprove it or whatever.
I move we approve the letter to the grand jury as typed.
I'll go ahead and make a second on that. So with that, let's do roll call.
Director Gish,
Yes.
Vice Chair Coe, Chairman Rhodes.
Yes. We will go now into informational items.
So I have updates on some of the projects we've been working on, and Chief Madowski's been heading up most of those. Some of them have, I'm sure he would probably like to get off his plate as soon as he could, but he will explain I guess the process that we're having to go through with the solar and is one of them. So Chief Madowski, please go ahead and present the board.
Thank you, Chief, and I would certainly second that. Chief Madowski, Administrative Battalion Chief, Madam Chair, item 10.1, the utility pickups, just some information. The notice inviting bids was drafted, posted per the purchasing policy. Additionally, the items were sent out to Chase Chevrolet, Tracy Chevrolet, Elk Grove Chevrolet, as well as Meta Chevrolet. The next step in the process is to match the bids with the bidding criteria and award those, and that should be coming before you shortly. So that is in process. It's item 10.1.
So that item will just come in front of you for the acceptance of the bid.
Okay.
We normally, for like the engine, we use HDAC. We could have used that for this, but sometimes the bidder is further away for the state bid. Pierce is in Wisconsin, so that's one thing. We know that's there. We have Pierce, we use Pierce. We go with the bid on that, and it's been done properly. For the utility vehicles, the state bid is in Sacramento. So if we have a problem, then they like us to take it to Sacramento to get any repairs done. And so we always give, and the board has, in the past, wanted us to go local with some of the stuff. And so the engine, we can't go local, even though we do, put it in the local paper, but nobody usually responds to building it. What we do, though, is the trucks are different, right? The utilities are a little bit different. So we want to give the board an opportunity to see those bids and then the matrix that puts it together and then make that decision. So,
Very good.
go ahead with the next one.
Item 10.2 is the solar project. We now have asked for weekly reports with the vendor. I've had contact with them, and they are, as of today, at 1,500 hours, they are actually now submitting their 5th revision to the city of Lathrop in order to get a permit signed off for that. I did inquire as to what the 5th revision contained, and it was a load calculation clarification item. So they are not into, each one of those revisions has taken 7 days for the city of Lathrop to work through. And so I have been told that this clarification item should not take that full 7 days. We are very eager to get this project started. And that's going to conclude the solar update.
Now, are we putting gold solar on?
I'm sorry?
Is our solar made of gold or, I mean,
I don't know. It seems like we have gone through, as a matter of fact, I went through, I can't remember what I was looking at, but it was we had this item on last year. It just seems like it's been such a painful process, and I'm almost ready to throw my hands up and but it's the board's request, obviously, but I think we need to look at it. I think we need to say, do we really want solar at this point? Because it's just been very painful. And so I think it's a great thing. I think it'll be good for the future of the station. I mean, and we want to be, environmental, conscious and move forward, but it just seems like it's been very, and then it doesn't help that, they don't ask for the right things. I've been trying to mediate some of that with the city so that we can kind of get some of these questions answered, and I've helped. I think we're getting there. But in a couple months, if it's not done, I think I'm going to bring it back to the board to either do something different or go somewhere different.
now, when you say that, because I was just under the assumption that delays were caused by the city wanting more stuff, are you saying that maybe they're not providing the right information?
I think it's the city wanting more stuff. I just think it's a lot of bad luck, unfortunately, because we
Okay.
lost the financing. That took, 6, 7 months, 8 months out of the deal. Then they had to find new financing. There's 3 or 4 months, 5 months. And then we got to station 34, 34, and they wanted to put them all on the lawn there. And we were like, hold on, we need to get those into carport style. That took more time to get that figured out. And then how we're going to finance that. That was another component. So it's been partly us, partly them, and partly the city. So I think we just need to. Well, I say 2 months because I have a feeling that Ron's going to get this thing done in the next month because
Good.
we're ready to. And we were fortunate enough to. One of the things too is we couldn't find the plans for Station 31, so we had to do some as-built. Well, we located them today, but all the as-built were already done. So it was just unfortunate. We did locate all the plans for all the fire stations we have, and we have them secured in Becky's office at this point. So we'll be finding a nice, safe place for them in the future because anytime we do anything to one of those stations, we have to have the set of plans for them to bid off it. So we'll get it taken care of, Madam Chair
Okay.
and Board. I'm sorry for the delay.
No, it's not, it's just, it is what it is.
So you want to talk about the open houses? You want me to? So the open houses started off with a little bit of a bump in the road. We were unable to get Station 31's open house open, so to speak. At the time, there was some delays for some, uncontrollable circumstances that happened, and unfortunately, that did not get communicated. And didn't get communicated to the board, didn't get communicated to the public, and I take full responsibility for that. That is my fault that didn't happen, and that didn't go off as well as I had anticipated. However-
Can you tell me what happened? I mean, it didn't happen, or?
It didn't happen. So
Oh,
we
okay.
rescheduled it. So it was canceled. Unfortunately, that didn't get communicated to anybody, and so we rescheduled it. So it's been rescheduled for the 8th, and we are going to have that one as clockwork goes on. We just had Station 2's last Sunday, and that went off great, no problems. I think we got a really pretty good turnout for Station 32. There was quite a few people came by. We were all there. My staff was all there. We all attended. We didn't stay the whole time, but we were there for a good portion of the time. The next one is Station 33's. That'll be this Sunday. And then 34's is the following Sunday, and then 31's will be the next Sunday. So it's going to go off like clockwork, and, we've fixed any communication gap that we have, and we're moving forward, and I think it's going to be a good event. So if you can, please attend. So, and I do apologize for the cancellation. Update on the audit. I'm going to let Executive Assistant Becky, she's been working with David on that, and she'll give an update on that.
Thank you, Chief. As far as the audit, we're just about completed on the audit. We are working on some final items as far as trying to integrate the firehouse accounting and make sure QuickBooks that is our new basically accounting system we're using. So making sure QuickBooks and Firehouse are integrated both fully. So at this point, we're looking at hopefully having a final completed in October. If not, at the very latest, we will have the draft completed into you for the October board meeting.
I'm sorry, I jumped around, didn't I?
Yeah, I was looking, and I know I've been kind of out of it today. I go, did I miss that?
I did kind of jump around. And so that's why Larry was standing up here, probably looking at me going, what are you doing? So Larry will come back up and give you the UTV, and then we'll talk with Station 35. I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
No worries. Item 10.3 is the UTV and the air pollution control grant. So an update on another carbon footprint reduction program that is happy when this one is done. So I am happy to report that earlier this month, we did receive a fully executed agreement. So that was exciting. Shortly lived thereafter, I made notification to the vendor, and the vendor promptly called me back and shared that he was having a problem with his distributor ordering our UTV. He is currently looking through his inventory as well as other products that they may have that fit our bid specification in order to make a purchase on that. I did speak with, I took the liberty to speak back with Shelley, our account representative at the Air Pollution Control District. Should we need to, the contract that we have has, it spells out the vendor, the make, the model, and the amount, and how many. And those are all time sensitive. So we were really precluded from making a purchase until we received the fully executed contract. So I returned to Ashley and asked her, hey, let's say that our vendor, comes up short, what is the process for that? Well, she assured me that the funding is ours, and that if we needed to, that we could amend the fully executed contract. I asked her the time frames and expectations with that, and it would take about a month to amend this fully executed contract. And then if we had to go back out to bid, there would probably be some things that we would be able to do to speed up that process, maybe running them concurrently. But just wanted to provide you with an update on where we're. Good news, we have the money, we're secured. The unfortunate news is that we are looking for to see that this vendor comes through with the product, and he's been very forthright. So if he can't find it, he's already made the phone call that he didn't want to make twice now to say that he's apologetic, but that's where we're at with it. Any questions?
No, thank you.
It seems like the carbon-friendly projects are just painfully. I know.
Well,
That's where
and
we're.
the amazing thing is that I guess we live in a world where we can't ask for anything.
I know.
We get constantly asked and delayed for everything else. Boy.
Okay, Station 35. Station 35 is moving along pretty steadily. They got the ground remediation is all done, and they started grading the lot. So I would anticipate that there may be at least a time frame that I'll bring back to the board for them to have of the construction phases of how that's going to go up. And then that way you can start taking a ride out there and taking a look and seeing what's going on. We anticipate that maybe in the next week or so. And then Bill, our architect, our engagement with them has expired. So I will be bringing back an update on that, probably a extension of the contract for them to continue on the process of that, and with details of what that entails, and if there's any additional costs for that. But we'll be bringing that back to the board probably in the next month or two for that to be continued on. It's because he'll still be needed for some other stuff as they build. There'll be questions about things, and he'll have to answer those questions for the engineering portion. So other than that, it looks great. Summerston, they've done a phenomenal job on that road, and they're going to extend that out to the station. So I think everything's on track, and I think everybody's anticipating a nice, steady process with the station. So we'll keep you informed. We'll bring you that schedule so you guys can have an idea of when the walls go up and when the roof's up and that kind of stuff, so you can take a look at it. And then that's all I have for informational items, Madam Chair.
Very good. So at this time, we can go to board comments and referrals, starting with Director Gish.
No,
Oh,
hang on.
did I skip something?
I have
Oh,
an
you
update, because I skipped.
Yes.
I threw you off, so I've thrown you off. So
Hang on.
the battalion chief, captain, firefighters list.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
We're still working on that pretty steadily. We got, there was a lot of candidates, and we got some really, really good candidates for firefighters, so we're bringing them in for a second interview to kind of narrow down that, and we'll be conducting that October 3rd and 4th. So that's going to be happening. Sorry, it's throwing me off a little bit. And then update on the fire station open house. Gave you that one already, and we gave you the audit. That one's done. And then we just got a reminder for the CSDA annual conference in Monterey. So I think it's Director Coe or Vice Chair Coe and Director Gish will be going, and then we're going to be leaving. You're riding with us, right? Bless you.
Bless you. Okay.
So we're going to be heading off, and you're going up on your own? Yeah, okay, fair enough. So it'll be a good event. I think it'll be very educational for all of us to be there and attend. So I do have a couple future items I just want to put on your list. Is the city of Lathrop formalized the waiving of all fees for our district through a resolution. So because the station came up and all the fees, the capital fees, and all the other fees that are associated with that, the only fees they will be charging us is, I believe, for anything that they have to go outsourced for. So plan reviews, that kind of stuff, when they do that, they outsource it, they have to get that fee taken back. And then there's a couple fees from the county that we'll have to pay. Other than that, everything else has been waived for this project and for future.
That's nice.
One of the things was they would like that in return. And so we have always waived their fees. It's always been something that has been a given, fire facility fees and all those fees. So we'll bring that back next month for you guys to adopt also, to waive their fees for everything in the future too.
But when you say their fees, you're talking about if they were to build a building, or if they were, I mean, not others. Okay.
No.
Yeah, because we
They
wouldn't
still
have
have
any
to-
income.
Yeah, no, they still have to pay.
Yeah.
They have to pay all their permit fees, they have to pay all the fees associated with that. It would just be a new building, I'm sorry, I should have clarified that, just for new construction, not all their fees throughout, yeah, because they have a lot of hazardous material fees and other fees they pay. So, just for new construction, you're correct.
Okay.
And then the fire facility fee report is due, and I'll bring that back to you next month for your adoption. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, we sure about that? Okay.
I think I am.
So board comments and referrals, starting to my right, at the end?
I did attend Station 32 open house. I was there, obviously, after you left.
I missed you.
But, and there was still a good handful of people that were still there, and it looked like the kids were having a good time, as well as the parents. So I commend the staff for the apparatus looked good, station looked great, and they got to see them go into action. They had to respond to a mutual aid call in Manteca, so
Oh, nice.
everyone got to see them get dressed and take off. So
That's
I
fine.
think it was good.
Good.
My daughter had a good time too.
Good, I'm
She
glad to
loves
hear
the
that.
hot dogs.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. that they-
I know the hot dogs they're dangerous.
The only thing I have is I attended the thank you barbecue for the
Oh.
firefighters and police officers. That committee puts on a really good, activity, and everybody seemed to just be having a great time. They posted a video, the committee posted a video, and it's just so nice to see everybody, all of the firefighters and all the police officers just laughing and having a good time and really enjoying it. But most of all, you see weaved in the pictures that community piece, because you always see, I was very impressed by a picture of a young police officer playing basketball with kids, firefighters, giving themselves high five with the kids. And it was just very, very nice. So I think that the city of Lathrop did a thank you to the committee. If we can bring them into the next meeting.
Yeah.
And give them some sort of certification or something from the board and the chief, thanking them, because that's something that is completely community-driven. I thank the director of the Parks and Recreation. He's like, no. He says, you don't understand. He says, I'm just walking around because I feel like I need to be here, and support, but he goes, this is all them. They do everything, so.
Well,
That
and-
was-
And, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That is, you're absolutely right. That was, and we will do that. We'll reach out to them and have them here at the next meeting
Yeah,
for
I
you
think
guys
they'll
to
like
acknowledge.
that,
Yeah, it'll be good because the other.
Give them some momentum, because they already started for next year, which is
Well,
just amazing.
And so the money they raise for the raffles, they donate back to us and they split it. So.
Oh, wow.
We got $400, and police services got $400, and they donate it to us, and we want to do something good with it, maybe do an ice cream social or donate it back, and we'll figure out something good for it, but, or we put it to the open houses, but it was a great event, and Michelle does a phenomenal job. She has
I
a
know,
nice
she's
team that
just
goes together,
amazing.
and that would be great. We'll put something together nice for them.
And they have some amazing raffle tickets, too. I spent $20 on raffle tickets and walked away with 140 worth of prizes, so it was
Oh,
just so
man.
cool. Did you?
Yeah, I think Josh wants to
Yeah.
say something. No, go ahead.
I just wanted the board, and I'm sure the chief was aware of this, about a week ago in Manteca, there was an incident where 2 small children drowned in a swimming pool. And they were actually pulled out of the pool and resuscitated by one of the Lathrop High School students that was taught CPR by our personnel. And so that's just an example of how us going through this extra effort of teaching the community how to do, hands-only CPR, it actually yielded results for 2 small children, and I think they're both out of the hospital doing well.
Wow. We should have him too and give him a certificate.
Yeah, I think, and that, we could. So Manteca.
It's up to you, Chief.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. So Manteca is doing something for them, and because my daughter was actually part of that too.
Wow.
Not doing the CPR, but teaching the CPR. So they did the hands-only CPR. So my daughter actually helped us because it was part of BTech. It was a group of BTech students that helped out with that too. So it really is, great things are happening out there. We're really getting out there, and we're doing a great job with presenting the district in a positive manner. So I think, but we'll look into presenting them with something also.
Yeah, give them some incentive. That's great.
No, it was great, but let me research that up a little bit more.
Thank you. Outside of that, I've heard from half of my family in Puerto Rico, haven't heard from the other half, so.
Yeah.
But they all have cement houses, so I'm very confident that they came out of it okay. Maybe a little wet, but okay. So with that, I'm going to end with this. I mean, in the last week, maybe that's why I'm so out of it today, is I've been doing a lot of reading about what is really going on. I mean, our different weathers and, and I'm not going to get into the politics of global warming or anything like that. But what I did find out is that the heat, the atmospheric heat that is above the water that causes all of these changes is a science, is a fact, and that anybody that works in the kind of job of a firefighter, police officer, any kind of emergency personnel, this may be the way things continue on and on. The storms are stronger, the floods are harder, the heat is more impacting the weather. I mean, it's snowing today in Lake Tahoe, and it's been snowing all week in Canada, and we're in September, so these changes, as they get worse, will impact us more. And I'm glad that our firefighters go up to, the fires, they do all of that, because it just seems like we're going to have to get more acclimated to doing things out of the ordinary, because that may be the future of the business. Yeah.
I think you're hitting a very strong point. I was contacted by Mike Cockrell. They want to put in, we're already starting the flood watch. They've started, so the problem is all the reservoirs are full still. They haven't even gotten down to their flood stage where they're at. So they're all full still, and so they've got a certain amount of time before they have to dump that, but you're right, we're already getting snow in Lake Tahoe. So it's a concern. So we're going to be having a conference call here shortly in the next couple days to talk about what we're going to be doing. And we have a big stake in that, because the south part of our district is, they're still trying to repair the levees. They haven't even gotten them repaired yet. They're still waiting for money from the state and from the federal government to help repair the levee. So we're going into this season with already high water that's going to start and levees that haven't been completely repaired from last year. So it's going to be a busy season again this year. And you're right, everything seems to be getting worse and worse. So we bring back a lot of information when we do attend those large fires up there, and we participate at a very high level. So and so it'll be interesting to be able to, we apply that, and I'll keep you updated.
What are they doing, last question, I promise. What are they doing, the Mossdale boat ramp next to the Green Bridge? It looks like a lot of construction there.
I don't
Do
think
we
they're.
know?
I think they're repairing the parking lot from.
Yeah. No, so you're absolutely right. So right there, they're lifting the parking lot because it floods. It's lower than the water table, so it floods every year. And then that water comes over and it goes inside the underpass right there where the railroad bridge is. on the Manthe Road, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, Manthe Road.
That's what they're doing, okay.
So now they've raised that so that it's above the water table, so it won't flood in the.
Good. I was somewhere the other day and everybody was griping that the only boat ramps that there are existent now is the one on, what is it? What's the street next to Manila?
Oh, Industrious?
What is it? There's a little restaurant there.
Oh, Haven Acres, yeah.
The next one is in Lodi, so everybody was talking about,
Oh.
in terms of that kind of boat ramp where everybody can really use it. So,
Yeah.
very good. Well, thank you. That's.
Yeah, that's.
So
what
with
they're doing.
that, if there isn't anything else from anybody, this meeting is adjourned.